Hello again. I think we left off last time. Well, I don't know what I was talking about, but I do know that I had made mention of an opaque covering for the diamond canvases. And I just wanted you to know that I personally really like the opaque. Um, it's basically my tendency to do as much and I as I can, and I would just not be able to stop if I didn't have a specific guideline. So I made my own squares for a long time, or strips about this wide. I think that's about 3 inches. Excuse me. And I'd make them along, and then I would just, roll them back as and fold. And I have had an occasion where I still do that, but at some point I just invested in some squares. These are 4 by 6, so actually I guess that's 4 inches, and that seems. But I still fold these in half because I find that a much more doable section for me. That sometimes I just get this thing in my mind. Okay, I just have to finish this square. Well, if it were a big square, I could be in lots of trouble because I stay up late at night doing this, and I just soon have it a little bit more manageable. Plus, there's something to be said when working. You don't want your hand in the sticky stuff. So, I'd be working on this, trying to finish it anyway, so I could rest my hand and not worry about all the glue that's on the canvas. So that's also why about 3 inches is a good width, because it's kind of like your hand. So if I think that makes sense anyway. You can let me know if that makes sense or not. So what I've done is I use a little piece of sticky tack. That's all that is, just to hold that down. It's not totally not necessary. You could use a cover minder, which I covered in my last video, or just let it flap. So I'm going to just peel that back. You can see I've got one more square after this, and then I'm on my penultimate row of this canvas. So I'll flip it up and show you. I've got one more row to go. Woohoo! And right now I'm on my penultimate square for this row. So if you haven't figured that out, that means next to last. So anyway, I'm going to start again on the color that I just finished with over here, which happened to be color number 60, which is the number 5 for me. So, right. So I'm not sure that I got too much into the whys. I started using tweezers. Somebody mentioned that they did that, and I hadn't even thought of doing that. And I thought, wow, that sounds like a brilliant idea. I think I could lay them maybe straighter. So I tried it, and yes, I like it. I love starting out using the my tweezers for when I do square drills. So when I started out, I had to have them completely perpendicular, straight up and down, and grab a drill and then place it. And I found that was most successful. I'm obviously graduated where I can pick them up a little more off kilter now, and still don't always get them down straight, but straighter. I find it faster. When I was doing it with my just my diamond painting pen, I felt like I was spending so much time trying to be so exact. And this was just a little more freeing for me. So I really like this method, and I appreciate somebody mentioning that along my journey and that I caught it. All right, so I need to move my light. I like to have my light source from above to highlight the diamonds. That's basically why I use it. Okay, I've had an occasional canvas where I've needed Not from Diamond Art Club, though. It was from somebody else, and I needed my light source from above to show me what some of the symbols were. They were so confusing and light, and I don't know, they were so similar colors, and it was very, very difficult. So I actually turned off my light pad a couple of times to do that canvas and just worked from lighting on the top. So there's no right or wrong way. That is the first thing you should know about diamond painting. So there's a myriad of ways and methods, and whatever you find works for you is the best way. So let's talk a little bit about the wax in your pens. So this one, if I get it in camera, is pretty clear. So the wax that typically comes with these is usually, see if I have one that I can pull out from fairly quickly. No, I think I've put it mostly away. That's because, oh yes, here I do. This was in the newest Diamond Art Club. They sent it in this cute little pot. And they sent two, they came in separately. And the thing you should know about these is they do have a clear coating on them. So you need to peel that off. Sorry, I'm trying to work one-handed because I don't have a cool thing to hold my camera. So now it's still not very sticky, but let me see if I can get this other coating off. And actually, it's not necessary to get the bottom one off, so maybe I'll just leave that one on. It doesn't really want to come off. Woohoo! There it is. And why I said it's okay if that one stays on, the main thing you want off is the one you're going to use on the top because you need to stick your pen down into it to get this wax. And it works perfectly fine. Let me grab a blank pen, and you just stab it in there, give it a twist, and it should come out clean. Sorry, I don't have two hands. And there you can see it's pink. It doesn't leave any residue on your diamonds, and it works just fine. Well, I've used this color all up, so I can't really, well, here, let me show you anyway. So I'll just place it there. See, it just picks up just perfectly fine. No problemo. And no residue. So that's the pink wax. Obviously, you need to refill your pen when it stops picking up diamonds, or you're spending more time trying to get it to pick up a diamond. It is way past time for you to dig in and get some more wax. I have the same thing with the wax that I use. And I'll put the link in the description, Paddy Wax is what it's called. P-A-D as in David, 2 D's, P-A-D-D-Y, and the wax, I believe, has 2 X's, W-A-X-X. And she's on Etsy, and she also sells some diamond paintings, which I have a couple of, and very beautiful. And she goes for very unusual ones, so she'll try a lot of new artists, but she's also got some very classical paintings, which are the 2 that I have in my stash. And her diamond company is called Distracted by Diamonds. So anyway, she made this thing called Paddy Wax to help with being a better, she was investigating having a better wax to use. So this is an example of Paddy Wax. Ooh. And they come in scents. They do not necessarily come in a cute box. This is one I purchased off of Amazon, and I just put Paddy Wax in here, but I also have some in an Altoid tin, so whatever you find works. So you just scrape your pen along the top to fill it, to load it, And it's not super sticky either. It doesn't leave a residue on your, but it smells heavenly, depending on what you choose. So, and she has good smelling ones in there. I have several of those. So I tend to use those in a multi-placer if I use a multi-placer. And a multi-placer looks like, here's an example of one. And you can see it's got a slight tint to it. And that's because I've used a scented Paddy Wax. Now they're not all pink. Some of them are blue and green and yellow. She has all kinds of different colors and scents. And this one is just like a 3 diamond placer. And there are many different kinds of placers. You can get one that do 6, and I don't know if there's any more in that, but multi-placers, multiple diamonds. So this is the other one. Oh, here's her logo, Distracted by Diamonds. Isn't that pretty? So that's her logo. And hang on while I open this and try not to jostle you too much. So this was the tin that a super sticky Paddy Wax came in, and it's been heavily used, as you can see. So I load my pins up. I invested in a whole bunch of pins. They're just pretty, they're decorative. I really like the looks of them. Some of them come from Diamond Art Club, where I like to get my canvases from. Some of them I've asked for custom ones from a shop on Etsy. And I can put those links in the description box as well. Here's the other one that I asked for. Very beautiful. But I've also gotten them from Amazon. And there's nothing wrong with any of them. I really like them all. It's personal preference. Now, I did order one, and I don't care for it as well, only because it's a little thin. I found it, for me, I prefer something a little fatter here. But, you know, that's not to say that I don't have thin ones that I started out with and that I used, but it's just a matter of working with them, I found. So here is, well, let me finish the super sticky Paddy Wax. So I do a lot of individual diamonds, which is 1 by 1. And you'll notice that all my pens have a single placer on both ends, except for this one that I showed you. It's got a single on that end and a multi-placer on this end. This was my very first custom diamond painting pen, by the way. Love it. And this was my second. And this was my third. And all the others are just pre-made, and I just ordered. So to get back to the Paddy Wax, I really prefer the super sticky Paddy Wax, which doesn't have a scent, or it didn't at the time I bought it. And it came, the one I bought came in this pretty little tin, and you load it the same as this pink one that I showed you of Paddy Wax. You just kind of scrape it along the top. And when I get my excess out, I'll show you, I kind of do this with the pen. I kind of scrape it on the side, which is why you see all these, well, I just kind of mushed them down, but you see a lot of excess. That's what that's from. Me, because I'll scrape it this way, turn my pen, and then I'll scratch off the excess there, and then I'll do some more, and then I'll scratch off the excess there. So from time to time, I have to go in and kind of mush that all down. So anyway, I love it. It's great, and you get a very satisfying snap, a pop, just a great sound from when you place those diamonds. Let's see, what pen was I using? I've messed them all up. I don't know. You can hear it. Totally wrong color. I'll have to. Can you hear that? I just love that. Anyway, it's very satisfying. So this is the something that I've gotten off of Amazon, and they make these in a larger one, which I probably should have bought the larger one, but at the time I didn't have very many pens. And I stacked this up with my scissors and one of my tweezers. And then after I load my pens up, I stick them all in here. I won't continue, but you see that I've really filled them all up. So when I'm doing a painting, then they're all loaded, and I work, and when it's done, I put them in a different container that I got from like the dollar store. So those are from new paintings that I've gotten. Anyway, so this has, oh, I forgot about this one. This was a new one. That was from Diamond Art Club. It's like orange creamsicle. It's like, ooh, look at those. Yeah, so I just put them in here. And of course, that's where all these that I just showed you were from. It's also where I keep my Paddy Wax. And I'll put these two back because I know that they need to all be refilled. So that's what I do. As I say, there's no right or wrong way. You just find out what works for you and you go with it. So I'll put the link for this in the description, and you can look for a larger size if you want. Yeah. Oh, and why do I have the scissors in here? The scissors are in here for my for when I kit up or I get ready to do a diamond painting. So you kit up and you kit down is the lingo. And the kit up would be snipping the end of that and putting them in one of the proper numbered container. So then I have my scissors. I'm not hunting for them, and they're excellent. And like this kit had extra bags that I could not fit in all these because obviously they're pretty small, so they're limited. So I have my extra bags in a special place ready and available for when I need them. So I'm going to continue with just one more thing, talking about extra storage. So this is a very popular storage. It's, you know what? I don't know. Elizabeth Warden bead thing is, I don't know, container. And when you buy it, you have the option. They're this big. Here, let me turn it this way so you can see the whole thing. So it holds many, many, many. And take the lid off. The ones that you choose, you can get one that's completely filled with these smaller containers. They don't have numbers on them. That's something that I've added. So the extras can go in there, or you can buy this with a multi, and it has a combination of some small ones, some medium ones, and some big ones. I started off with just the small ones, and then I've added this size and this size as I've progressed in my diamond painting. This was it's quite an investment, and I had started doing lots of larger diamond paintings, and so I found it very helpful for me. A lot of people use just this to diamond paint, and they don't bother with anything like that. They like having everything as much as they can all in here in one kit. For me, I had trouble opening these without an instrument. So how I open these is I hold these in my left hand since I'm right-handed. And I can't do that because I'm holding the camera. But here you can see, I believe, the lip, the white flap that comes down, that keeps it shut. And I use this end of my tweezers, and I stick it under there and pop it open so I can fill my containers. So that's basically why I personally don't use these. But again, that's just a personal preference. I like being able to open it one-handed, and you know, I started with these. Well, I started with bags, so this was a blessing. And anyway, I'm just so used to these. This was a little more difficult for me to use because I had trouble opening. So there you go. And I'll put, again, a link in the box for you on this. So that's another journey. There wasn't much diamond painting happening during this one, but you know, we're covering a lot of new territory, and I hope that I didn't say a lot of the craft lingo words that you didn't understand. If I did, please make a comment, and I'll try and answer that for you or cover it in another video. Thank you, and I'll see you again next time.